Hi, I'm Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is February the 13th, 2022, and today I am going to do a reading on the Canadian truck strike and what that was all about. That was a much requested reading from you guys. I want to wish everybody happy Valentine's Day, however you celebrate it. Let it be of self-care and self-love and unconditional love and the love of others, your spouse, your friends, your companions, your animal companions, to let your meditation be on what love really means. So I'm using the Cyril Marchetti cards for the reading on the truckers, and then there is an oracle card for us, or an oracle card for us, can't speak this morning, from the Whispers of Healing deck that I will get to afterwards, and there is a musical interlude at the end. I want to let people know I'm available for personal readings. I read anything in this life, past and present and future. I read on past lives, and also I love to introduce people to their guardian angels, and I am a medium. My information is in the description box below, how to contact me, and also at the very end of the video, at the end of the musical interlude. Okay, let's get to it. So my guides showed me this card to represent what this is really about, and what they said was this represents that the Canadian trucker strike is an illusion, an obfuscation, to take our eyes off other things that are going on in our world and in our country, also to give the illusion that this is a spontaneous movement, this is, grassroots, when really it isn't. And the other thing that they showed me was this card really represents Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon of Brexit, everybody, incorporating the same modalities that he used to get Brexit, that disaster, passed, which really was to disconnect the United Kingdom from the rest of the Western allies in alliance or coordination with Russia. It was what Russia wanted, and he was successful. And so using social media and also memes in our mainstream media to churn up division, hatreds, to bring about this movement by any means necessary, by his craft and skills, and achieve the above card, which is the Seven of Wands. These are the truckers. This guy represents truckers, and they're holding up the supply chain, blocking the ports of entry and exit from Canada to United States. And the purpose of this, ostensibly too, is to disrupt Biden's economy, disrupt our supply chain, to make Biden look bad. They're materialists. They always think this is all about the money. How do you get a president? How do you bring down a president, or how do you get your guy in? You're gonna look at the money. Oh, look, the shelves are empty. This occurred under Biden's watch, blah, 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 blah. And then, they're lighting that fire with the anti-vaccine movement. And the reality is that in Canada, 90% of the truckers are vaccinated, 10% are not. So you get this grassroots movement of just a very minuscule amount of these people to do this thing, but in the reality, this isn't even the grassroots at all. This is very much something that's constructed. They're just the face of this, but this has really been a well-planned organization, And my guide showed this by showing us the Five of Swords. And this is the planning that went into it, this attack on Biden, this attack on our economy. And this is Bannon also. Below is the Six of Pentacles. You could say it's Six of Pentacles reversed, but it just really represents the funding that has gone into this. And this is the funding of the same people who funded the insurrection are funding this to bring down our democracy. So that's dark money, possibly Russian oligarch money, many and varied interests that fund and have funded Trump. I think I feel like names like Ali Akbar, allegedly. I don't want to really bring Ginny Thomas into this, but the same sources anyway that funded the buses to the insurrection, that funded the rooms, that funded the planning. Big money too. This is big money coming into this. In the future, what's going to happen to the truckers? Well, my guides showed me the Five of Pentacles. This is a sad card. They're basically saying, not that I personally don't think they deserve it, but then I don't want to wish anybody harm. It does irritate and annoy me that this has happened. But again, the truckers themselves are pawns, just like the insurrectionists were pawns to the people behind this. I see it as a form of terrorism on our countries. And just like the insurrectionists who are languishing in jail or prisons or whatever, the truckers, I believe their fate is going to be pretty bad. I think what's going to happen is that they're going to have their vehicles impounded, they're going to have their licenses taken away, and they're going to be in the situation where they cannot earn money. I see divorces, I see unemployment, possibly homelessness. It's not a good result for these truckers, the common folk that they got to, or what they like to think about as the common folk. I heard that each semi costs like $150,000, so maybe they're not that poor, but they do lose also their place in their communities. People hate them. The Canadians hate these truckers. They see them as traitors. So they're not coming back to a good place. And maybe some of them do go to jail or prison, whatever. It's not going to be pretty for them. But do these guys care? Does he care about the fate of these men and women? No, not at all. Just like the insurrectionists, they are pawns in the game. They are cannon fodder. Who cares what happens to them? But this is what's going to happen. And already I have seen that Biden and Trudeau are talking about this situation. Biden's asking Trudeau to, stop it. It has, as far as I know, stopped. Or there was a court order to shut it down. I'm not 100% sure what the end result of that is. I do believe that there are only a few more, not a few more, but a few truckers still there, or protesters. But this is still going to flare up, right? But this is what's going to happen to them. None of them are going to come out well with this. And also, the Canadian government shut down the GoFundMe pages where the money was being raised, so they ain't getting that. And the clarifying card of the whole reading is the Devil, and this always pops up when we talk about characters like Steve Bannon or the Trump people. This is what's firing it up. And we have seen this not just with the Canadian truckers, but we saw was it Kamala Harris's convoy ambushed. They like to ambush these bullies, these GOP Trumpian Q cabal, and there has been talk about this type of attack being utilized in the future, but to be honest, I don't think that it's going to be that easy for them. And why? The outcome card. This is the Three of Pentacles. So this is, according to my guides, the government's the governments of the United States and Canada taking control of the money. Look for the money. Cut off the money at its source. And this is going to hurt everybody, including Steve Bannon. Just like we're planning to use sanctions against the Russians, who's ever profiting, benefiting from this, whatever the money sources are, government's going to take control of that. And that will pretty much deflate this movement, because you gotta go for the money, and the government knows this, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's going on. So that is my reading on the Canadian truckers, and we'll see how it plays out. Oh, the other part of this that I forgot to mention, that my guides did mention to me, was that another role for this particular event was to, in coordination with, collusion or conspiracy with Russia invading the Ukraine, a way to take the attention of the American people off that, to disrupt and cause chaos in the American government and amongst the American psyche, so they can go on and do their thing. And Americans, they're hoping, will still be divided. They don't want Americans to unite and back the government in what our governments are going to need to do to prevent the takeover of the Ukraine, or not the Ukraine. Oh God, forgive me. Ukraine. Sorry about that. So, because the Ukraine was from the Soviet Union, that's what they would call it, but it is not part of the Soviet Union. It's independent. It is Ukraine. So I think it's interesting, and it's scary. Give it that. It is scary. What is really going on behind the scenes with these Trumpian fascists? They really are engaged in continuing this insurrection, but we are fighting it. My guides always show me they are not going to be successful, and I think that they show their hand too much. I think that they give away things too soon. They're not good at, like, surreptitiously, quietly, insidiously carrying on with their plans. Everything is so narcissistic, so grandiose, and that is not to their benefit. Because if you know early on what's going on and what to look for, and what the plan is, like the evil villain who's telling, like, James Bond type character, everything. They always tell everything about their plan, and then it allows it to be defeated because it's known up front. And that's what it appears to me also, not just my guides, but it appears to me too, that that's what's going on. My guides again say everything's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Things are going to look really different at the end of the year. So hold on to your horses. Keep your calm. Be positive. Let's work towards 2022 and getting our blue Senate House victories. And that's really where we need our energy to go. Okay. Today we have the Oracle card, Get Clear. Get clear. Take a moment to stop and think about what your intentions truly are regarding the situation at hand. This is necessary to ensure you manifest what you want rather than what you don't want. Writing a list may help you track your intentions, identify a course of action, and focus on your desire. It may also highlight gaps in the information you currently have on hand. Follow up what you need to know. Share your concerns and goals with those guiding you or someone you feel like sharing it with. Being clear is a matter of setting parameters on how you would like your life to unfold. When it comes to your well-being, it's vital to be clear about your intentions and desires. It's important to have a clear picture of what you value the most. Once you know what you want and why you want it, you can begin to access those feelings. From the feeling, the manifestation is formulated and comes into shape. Get clear. Okay, you guys, sending my love to you. Take care. Just want to tell you how much I appreciate your involvement in the suggestions and the comments. I read every single one that you leave for each video. I will see you next week, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.